Don't forget to record. Sorry.
Thank you. I just have to hear that, that's, I love it.
I think it's something else, but I forgot what it was.
All right. So hello, everybody. Welcome. And welcome to GEG Nevada monthly meeting number 9. Woo! Q. That's Q in Japanese. It's amazing that it's already our 9th meeting. Today, we will be talking about how to become a Google for Education Certified Educator Level 1. Okay, so we have lots of great tips for everybody. All right, so meet the GEG Nevada team. And if you are interested in joining the team, leader team, please let us know because we welcome everybody. Okay, and this is a really fun team. And I just joined last summer, and I feel like I've known everybody for many, many years. So, hello, Heidi. Okay, our norms are simple. Okay, please mute yourself, and please use chat for comments and questions, and have fun. Okay, if you have not joined the our Google group, please do so because that's how you get the news and different events, and also you get the link to this meeting, yeah, through the calendar too. But so please join our Google group. And the celebration form is really important to us because we want to celebrate your accomplishments. And if you go to our website, you will get to see all the Google certified educators, level 1, 2, trainer, and innovator, maybe hopefully coach as well, who will be the first one. So please fill this out. Fill out this form. It doesn't have to be a certification. Just it's just it can be certification. It can be anything else. We just want to celebrate. Okay, our mission is to build a community of educators from around Nevada who empower, inspire, share, and learn together, united in a common interest to leverage technology for transformations in learning. Once again, welcome to our 9th monthly meeting, and we are going to do a very quick get to know each other, and Dana is going to do the poll, and office hours. Tech tool of the month is again Google Educator Level 1 certification. If you already have Level 1, I think that the tips that we are going to share will be useful because I was going over the Google Doc, that's my part, and there are a couple of things that, oh yeah, I forgot about that, right? So I hope today's meeting will be useful for everybody. And then, sorry, Dana, there will be or there'll be no Google update?
I'm skipping Google updates.
That's right, sorry about that. I forgot to delete that. Okay. So let's get to know each other. All right, so do you have Level 1, Certified Educator Level 1 or Level 2? That is the poll.
I'm working on it right now. I totally forgot.
No, that's okay. I just want to share that I attended the Nevada Digital Learning Summit this past weekend, and it was amazing. I was so inspired by all the sessions. I mean, it was really from 9 to 3, but every session was great. So I just want to say thank you to the presenters. I know Joanne and let's see, Robin, you guys did that presentation too, right?
No, I missed this one round.
But I thought Joanne did the.
I did. I did with Heather and Lorenda.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I wanted to, so that's why, Robin, your spelling was different. I thought that was you, and then, okay, because it was BYN. Okay, all right. But anyway, thank you.
Poll is launched. So everybody go to their triangle, circle, square up in the top right and vote.
I'm actually working on level 1 right now. So I'm going to say this sounds fun because my option isn't there. I'm currently in a class.
Where are you taking your class?
I am doing it on Canvas. Actually, I see one of my teachers, my Google teachers here. Joanne is here, and I'm happy to see her. And then I have another friend from Temple, Robin, who I saw too. So I'm so excited. I have friends here already.
Lisa, it's possible to become certified in a day. If you worked really hard, you could get done in a day. I studied for 10 hours, but I was so prepared. Like there was nothing I didn't feel comfortable knowing. How about you guys? When you first jumped into this, how long did it take you to prepare for the test?
I was trying to remember. I mean, I did a very weird thing, and that was that, I mean, I was in a boot camp, and that's where I started learning and actually went through everything. And it was I want to say it was a 2-day boot camp. And so they went through everything with us while we were doing it. And of course, encouraged us to sign up and register. And sign up and register for level 1. And then don't forget to sign up and register for level 2. And I registered for both and had to take them both within 7 days of each other. So I don't recommend that for anybody else. Definitely nerve-wracking, but I think it took me about a good day or two for feeling confident. And then I just kind of did some review and I had some notes of my own to kind of feel like I had it in my head.
So did anyone pay for the expensive courses by Casey Bell or anything? Mimi, you did? Did you take it with Casey Bell or who'd you take it with? Casey Bell?
PC, yeah.
She's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but you can do it for free. Well, $10. It's going to cost $10 because that's how much the test is.
Because I didn't know anything about GEG, Nevada, or, so I was like, I'm going to pay. And it was great, but I wish I had known that this kind of group existed, because all you need is a little bit of encouragement and support, right?
Right. And we're actually going to go through the resources to give you the information today. Our voting is kind of skewed because we have a lot of leaders here. So it says 8 people have level 2, but we already know who those 8 people are. So we're focusing
another
towards
one of my teachers. I see Heather. Heather's taught me before too.
Yeah.
This is great.
Kind of amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay, we are. Office hours. Are office hours winding down, Scott?
No, they're just heating up. No, just listen. If you have questions, or if you'd like to ask some questions, or if you'd like to give some answers, come on by. We have a few more office hours. That's every Tuesday except for this meeting. Come on by, click on the link, either provide some answers or ask questions, and you're good to go.
We could have it be a counseling session too, where you just bring your glass of wine.
If you want to just stop by and drink wine, that's fine as well. It's like Lucy, 5 cents. Just ask any question, I'll answer it. I don't know. I can't say it's going to be a very valid answer, but I'll answer questions. They may not be truthful or not, but I'll answer questions. All right, that's it. So stop by if you have some questions or if you want to help on a Tuesday.
Okay, so us leaders have been pretty bad at this, filling out the attendance form thing. So we were kindly asked, could you make sure you fill out that attendance form? Because when you're part of the Google community, a lot of us are Google trainers. And so we are kind of backed up by Google with our skills. Google will certify that we know what we're doing, kind of. And in order to do that, though, they provide a lot of free resources for us. They provide a lot of free trainings, and they even give us access to tools that most teachers have to pay for. It really is a great deal. So I definitely encourage everybody to go for their trainer, especially in this group. So please fill out the attendance form, because what these attendance forms are used for is we don't send names, we send numbers. The numbers are really the important thing. So that when we send these to Google, Google goes to these third-party companies and says, we want to partner with you, and we want to show you it's worth your time and money to partner with us because we are training all of these people. So not only do we want these people learning about Google tools, but we also want them to learn about read and write and text help. And help me out, guys. There's like 6 others we have partnerships with. But so we need to do a better job of doing this. We've kind of been failing, but we were gently nudged to encourage us to fill out this form. So even the leaders in the group, everyone fills out this form. So I'm going to give you a minute to do that now. I'm going to drop it again because we had some people come in. Please go ahead and fill out this attendance form. It will only take a moment.
I really appreciate, Dana, that you explained the why of, why we are asking the participants to fill this out. Because sometimes, when I go to an event like this, I fill out, but nobody explains why. So I really, really appreciate that. And I think it's really important. While we are waiting, I just want to make an announcement that I am so thrilled that our IT director, Mr. Medeiros, is joining us today. So thank you, Mr. Medeiros. I really appreciate that you are here.
Thank you, Mimi. I appreciate the introduction and the introduction to the group. It's my first time here, so I'm just kind of observing and trying to absorb all the googly stuff going on.
I know you are so busy. Thank you. We really, really appreciate that.
Yep, no problem.
So Joanne, why don't you explain our goal for this summer? You're on mute.
Our goal is for this summer, by the time we return to school, we would like to have at least 50 level 1 educators in Nevada. So the whole state of Nevada. We'd like to have at least 30 level 2. And then we'd like to have at least 5 people on the path to being Google trainers. Google Trainer is not as quick to get. It's not sign up for the test and take it that week. There is a little bit of a longer application process for that. So our goal is to have 5 new people letting us know that they're in the process of going for the Google Trainer. Dana, now you're on mute. Now you're pulling a Joanne.
Okay, so I thought I put something in this slide, but apparently I'm crazy, I didn't. Okay, my job today is to talk about what the heck is this Google Certified Level 1 thing, and where do we go about doing it? Well, we are going to head over to the GEG Nevada website, and here's our homepage, but Joanne did a fantastic job building a new page for us this weekend, which is the path to lead us to what the Google certifications are. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the training center because there's 2 places. There's a place where you can get your training to take the level 1 exam, and then you can just go take your level 1 exam. You do not need to do the training to take the exam. They are independent of each other, but I think it's probably a good idea. So there is 2 training courses. One of them is called Learn the Basics for Google Workspace for Education, and the second one is called Go Further. This one is kind of our level 1, and this one is kind of our level 2. They actually used to be called level 1 and 2, but they changed the names recently to modernize and to make sure you understand that they're not exactly, you don't have to do one with the other. So if we go ahead and go for the new learners and start the training, you're going to see that it's laid out in 13 modules, and all of them have times next to it. And I found the times were actually pretty accurate. A little bit long maybe, but I always prefer to round up than round down, so it's pretty good. Now, at the end of all of these sections, you're going to find questions. The questions are what you want to focus on. There are some activities that have Word docs and Excel spreadsheets and slide decks. If you want to keep those resources, I suggest making a copy and creating a folder in your Google Drive, because they will be helpful, especially if you continue on to trainer. You're going to use some of those resources to justify yourself when you apply to become a trainer. So when you jot down ideas, keeping things like that handy for when you become a trainer is good to know. The courses are really good, and you're going to see a lot of familiar faces. If you follow Twitter or anything edutech around, you're going to see a lot of people be like, hey, I know that guy. I saw a video for him on YouTube. Or, hey, I know that guy. It's Eric Kurtz. They kind of showcase them in these trainings. So they're pretty good. They're fun to follow. But at the end, there is always questions. Now, I will, in my opinion, say these questions are actually more challenging than the ones that are on the test, but they are definitely going to guide you to the experiences you need on the test. The test is going to be broken up into 2 sections. The first section is a multiple choice section where you're going to have to answer questions like this. So there's 13 units. And they each take between a half an hour to an hour. So I would say it's going to take you between 8 and 13 hours to finish all the units, but they are very, very good. And they teach you more than you need to be certified level 1. It really shows you what it's like to be a googly educator. And it also lets you know, do you actually want to join this cult? Or do you just want to say that maybe it's not for me? Because I was totally on board. I love the way they train. They always focus on student voice and student choice. And they do that in their trainings here, though. So they're very good. So there's 13 units and you work through them. The one thing the trainings don't offer very well is the actual Google skills. So it teaches you the background of the education, but you're going to need just a little bit more. So what I did to get that little bit more is I opened a new tab and I'm going to go to YouTube, and I actually just Googled Google Certified Educator Level 1. Now, so much more. Hey, I saw John Tash today in our meeting today. I saw him. Anyway, so I like Frank Vello. He was my favorite. Anybody else Frank fans? Anybody Frank fans? He's got a cool Boston accent, and he goes through the skills like bang, bang, bang. He doesn't waste any time. He's just like, here's the skills you need to know. Now, there they are. So I stuck with Frank for all of level 1 and level 2. He was my absolute favorite. So I'm actually, you're going to hear him for a second. And I'm actually going to send the link. This is just the level 1, and then you can keep following him from there, but I'm going to drop that in the chat. And the whole thing together probably took me about 10 hours to go through the units. And then after each unit, I went to watch videos. But why watch videos when we can learn things here? So that kind of ends my little spiel. I don't have the notes here. Do we remember who was up next? I suppose I could bring it up over here.
I do. Let's see. That is
Joanne, Google Sheets.
Joanne, yeah.
Sorry,
Joanne,
I was getting ready to add him to our resource page. You know,
yeah, he's good.
Before I dive into it, so I'm going to go ahead and share, Dana, if you want to stop sharing.
Perfect.
All right. So before I dive into that, I want to go back to the page real quick, to the Google certification page. I don't know if we're going to touch back base on this, so I want to make sure we mention it. Is at the very, we have this broken down into the different levels along with skill checklist, which is by Eric Kurtz. And if you scroll down at the bottom, we have additional things down here, like the Global GEG group, which Dana is actually one of the leaders of that group. They have awesome YouTube videos all over that they have done from boot camps and stuff. So that's an additional one. And I will also add the one that Dana just told us about on here as well. But Kyle and Christia, who are 2 of our GEG Nevada leaders, they also have a wakelet that has tons of stuff in it. Like I looked through both of theirs. I was like, wow, there's a ton in there. And Christia did an awesome presentation that has a bunch of information that gives even tips on, before you take the test, what to do. So make sure that, you definitely look at all these resources that are right here on the website as well. And if you find a great resource, you can share it with us and we will add it. So Google Sheets. There are some basic things on the test for Google Sheets. Some of it is just basic formatting, which luckily, a lot of you are familiar with because you use other Google programs. So just like, up here with the formatting for the bolding things or to align things in a certain way. So there's just some of those basic things. I'm not going to cover too much of that. Make sure you understand just basic sheets lingo of like that columns and rows, and like this one right here that's highlighted in yellow would be cell B because it's in column B, and row 4, so that would be B4. Just make sure that you understand some of those features. You'll need to know basic sorting. So like if I wanted to sort this list of names by grade level, I could come up to column B, the little arrow right here, and just choose to sort the sheet. Make sure that you do not like click a column and then choose to sort the range. Of course, it didn't come up that way this time. So just be careful that you're not just sorting just the range, because then that will actually take the information and it sorts just that column. And now your kids and their information is no longer aligned. There is the advanced sort range, and I can't remember if this was on the test or not. It was a while ago for me. So if you come into the sort range, that's where you can add additional columns. So you want to first sort by B, then go to sort by, oops, I chose just that range. If I didn't choose that, you would have seen the other columns here. So that's some basic there. Another thing is the sum average. They'll ask you that. So if I want to get, these are some kids' reading scores. If I want to get the average of these kids' scores, I like to put mine up here in this top cell. So I put it in here, come up here to this, and I can click on average. Then I can highlight the cells that I want to have it average out. If I want the entire column of F, I can just hit the little delete button, and now you'll see that F7 up here turn to just F. So when I hit enter, as I add additional scores in here, it will just continue to add my average at the top. All right, you also can put your mouse in any cell, and then I can highlight, I can highlight these ones and then choose sum. I wouldn't really sum those, but that's how you would quickly sum as well if you were going to do the average sum. Keep in mind, just a little tip, now I'm going too long, sorry. When you highlight stuff down here in the corner, I think some people forget this feature. I know when I first discovered it, I was like, yes. Down here in the corner next to the Explore, there's a little drop down, and this is always a quick way to just do sum, average, min, mix, account. That helps too, just a little tip in case you did not know that. And the last thing, because I'm already too long, sorry, is I'm going to do charts. So on a chart, let's say this was like electives that kids chose. So if I just want to get an idea on this column G, how many kids chose each one of the things, I can click on column G. There's the Explore feature in the bottom right that when you choose this, it also brings up charts and kind of tells you which charts might be best for your information. But I want to make sure that you also know how to come up to the Insert Chart option, and it will just choose one for you. And then you can come over here to Chart Type and choose from the list here. I'm going to choose a pie chart. Then right here is where you can choose so many different options, how you want the name of it. But if you come to Customize, that's where you really get into labeling like the colors that you want. If you come to Pie Slice, you're actually choosing which colors you want different things. So beginning band, I want to change this to a different color. This is where I would do that. Distance from center, maybe you're wanting to do a chart to really highlight this one. So you can have that piece come out from the pie. So there's a lot of different things, just the legend down here, like what do you want? What do you want the legends here? Where do you want it to be? Right next to it, on the top, the bottom, next to each piece of the pie. Also in the pie slices, I forgot to mention, is it in there? Is it in the pie chart? That's where you would choose where you want the labels. So like if you choose the label, it'll put it right on each piece. Notice it doesn't show it on all of them. Sometimes you have to come in and you have to change the size of the font in order to make it show up on all of that. And the one final thing, and I'm done, and I'm so sorry I went over, I can't help it. If you click on these 3 dots, that's how you would download, publish your chart. Maybe you want to move it to its own sheet, because that is on the test to move this chart to its own sheet. If I click here, now you can see it brought it into its own sheet. So sorry, that was a lot and I went way too long. I apologize.
We built in extra time.
Okay.
Something you need to learn about this group is we always talk too much. That's kind of our thing. Don't worry. We built in extra time for people that go a little bit too long.
Sorry, thank you. Next.
All right, next is Christine, Forms.
Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm going to be talking about Google Forms today. I'll try and go as quickly as possible as well. All right. So I know Dana talked about this earlier this year, but whenever you want something new, you can always type slides.new or forms.new or docs.new, and it comes up automatically, which is really cool. Saves time from going into your Drive or wherever else. So when you open a new form, it of course is going to be untitled. Can you all see that okay? Am I sharing it properly? Okay. All right, so I'm in forms.new. It's always untitled when you first go in, and I typically use forms for being able to create quizzes for my students or tests, and they're automatically graded. So something that I do right off the bat is I go into the gear, and you'll have some general information if you want to collect email addresses or limit to a one response or anything like that. You want your presentation to be shown, if you want a progress bar, the questions to be in a mixed up order. And then I always go to this quizzes tab up at the top, and I make it a quiz, and that will allow it to be graded for you. Now, if you have short answers or long answer types, you'll probably have to go back in and grade those yourself, unless you're specifically having your students spell things or enter a certain number as the answer. Then it will auto grade those responses as well. Then you'll want to click save. The first thing you'll want to do is, of course, name your quiz or whatever it is. And if you click up in the top, it automatically gives whatever name you gave it as the title for the document. Something I like about forms is that it has multiple ways to add different kinds of questions. So when you click the plus symbol that's off to the right on this little bar, it gives you a pull down menu, and it shows you that you can have a short answer question, you can have a paragraph question, you can have multiple choice. Check boxes may be if there's more than one answer that you want students to choose from. A drop down may be if you're only giving certain choices for like a survey. So if you're not using this as a quiz or a test and you want to use it to just take a survey with your parents or students or whatever the case may be, you can do a drop down. And then there's also ways to upload files. Linear scale and multiple choice grid and checkbox grid are just a little bit more complex. They are not in the level 1 exam. So I'm not going to go into those today, but I'll stick with the basics. So I'll start with multiple choice. You go ahead and add whatever your question may be, and then you can add your options. There's always the option to add a image. So especially for me, I teach the younger grade, kindergarten. I want them to have an image to go with that answer. So answer number 1, maybe, whatever we're studying at the time, and I put a picture next to it so that I don't have to read aloud. I also found a program that adds voice to a quiz, but the people that are using the quiz also have to have that same extension. So it's not necessary, but adding the image does help with that. As you go down, you're going to continue to choose if you want it to be worth points. Clicking on answer key, you can change the point value of certain questions, and this is where you'll also select what the correct answer is. So I only put it was one answer, but if you have 4 choices or 3 choices or 2 choices, you're going to go ahead and select which one is the correct answer and click done. And then if this is a quiz that you're having your students take or a test, you definitely want to make those required responses so that they can't accidentally skip anything. It won't let them submit without those requirements. Some other things that you can do is import questions from, other forms. You can add titles and descriptions to each of those sections. You can add those images, as I said, but you can also add an image at the top. So if you're having them look at an image and answer a question about that particular image, you can click on that. You can upload from your computer. You can take one with your camera. You can do by URL. You can do just a simple image search, and that will add that image in there for you. So if you're doing, a question on, I don't know, snakes, and they had to identify a snake, okay, you would put that in there, and then you can put the question below what type of snake is pictured above, and they would have to answer that question. I don't know why I thought of snakes, but there we go. And you can also add a video. So for my students specifically, we often do comprehension. And so I'll put a YouTube video of whatever book we read. So they kind of gives them that first read this one more time or listen to it one more time before you go take the quiz, or if you're giving an explanation on something and you just want them to explore or answer a question about a video clip, you can get that directly from YouTube or a YouTube URL. To wrap up, I'm just going to talk about some of the other types of questions you can put in there. So check boxes, as you add your options, it's going to be a square instead of a circle. And so if they have to select more than one, and then the short answer basically just gives them a line to type on. And this is where you can get a little bit more fancy and have certain things required as far as like spelling or making sure that the answer that they type matches what you are specifically looking for to the question, and then it will grade it for you. So Google Forms is an awesome tool to use for surveys, quizzes, tests, and a great way to collect data. And one thing that I really like about it is it collects the email addresses for you. If you're in Clark County, I know it does that. So my students don't even have to type their email address, or you can make sure that you require your people submitting to type their email address. And that's all I have for today. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Christine. Yeah, when I took level 1 and level 2, I mean, there are lots of questions about Google Forms. So yeah, I think it's a really, really important skill. Okay, so I am going to talk about Google Docs. And all right, so I created this demo document. Right, so to share a Google document, you are going to click on this share button, and then you are going to type in the email address, and you are going to select the sharing permission and determine whether you want to notify them or not, and then you are going to click send. Okay, if you want to add a message, you can do that. And I think it's really important when you take a test, you just copy and paste the email address, for example, or the message. You don't want to type. So I think that to me was an important test taking skill. Okay, so now you know how to create a Google Doc and how to share. So let's talk about how to provide suggested edits, which I think is a great feature in Docs. So let's say that this student did not capitalize the word provide. So as a teacher, you are going to highlight, and instead of fixing it for the student, you are going to click on the suggest edits. And now I am suggesting, so I am going to, well, you need to capitalize. And this, this automatically pops up, which is great. And the student will either accept the suggestion or reject suggestion. Okay, and next thing is how to how to direct comments to specific users. And I just did not know this until I took the exam. I think this is great. So what you're going to do is, let's say I want to leave a comment to this student, or could be a coworker. Again, you are going to highlight, and then I'm going to click on this add comment, okay? And then you are going to just, I don't know, for example, like great job or whatever. And this is a key. You are going to put at, and then the email address, and click on assign, okay? And then if you click on assign, that message with this, the recipient will get the email, and then they will know that, oh, I need to take an action. So I think that's great. One last thing that I want to talk about is the version history, which is great, and then you will be probably tested on this. So, okay, where you can access version history and revert to earlier version is to click on here, okay? And then if you click on these arrows, that will give more, broken down specific time. And this one, okay, name the edit. You can name the edit, okay? And then you can sort it, okay? So the only thing that you need to be careful is that if you want to restore this version, okay, you click on this button, but after you revert it, then you're going to lose all the edits that you made. So you need to really think about before if you want to restore to that, okay? And sorry, I didn't put it here, but just one final thing is the how to do the citation. So click on Tools and then click on Citations, and that's going to let you choose if you want MLA or other citation. And so that you might be asked to on the test, where do you go to find the citation tools, which is under the toolbox. Okay. All right. So that's it for me. Stop sharing. Okay. Next is Heather.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm going to do a quick little share and talk about Gmail and a couple things in Gmail. So here we go. One of my favorite things in Gmail is using filters, which are basically rules to help you keep your Gmail, your inbox cleaned up. So for example, I might take this email. There's a couple different ways that you can do filters. So the first one is if there's emails that you get a lot of that you really just want it to automatically organize for you. So maybe I want all of my GEG emails to go into a certain label, which is the word for folders in Gmail. I can simply select an email or multiple emails. I can click over here on the 3 dots and say filter messages like these. So it's going to be looking for similar messages. And then I have to tell it what to do. So I'm going to start with, well, I want everything from Dana. So you can see down here, hopefully, let me move this, that it's already started to filter all the messages that I have from Dana. So if I want Dana's messages to go somewhere special or do something special, I went ahead and found them. I'm going to go ahead and create my filter. And then you have these choices here. And what's nice about this is you can do multiple things. So one of my favorite things, one of my favorite go-to filters is to have it apply a label automatically. So I have my labels in here, which I'm a little bit label crazy, no judgment. If I wanted a new label and I wanted to name it Dana GEG, I can go ahead and create that. So now anytime that I get a message from her or an email from her, it is going to automatically apply that label, which will help make it really easy for me to find messages from her. So I'm going to show you that one first. And what's nice is, remember how I told it to find similar emails? Down here at the bottom, you'll see that it's already found 45 matching ones. So I'm going to say, also apply that to the 45 that you found. And I'm going to go ahead and create my filter. And it went ahead and did that label for me. Or that filter, I'm sorry. Another way that you can filter is you can come up to your settings cog up here in the upper right-hand corner. And when you click on it and you go to see all of your settings, right here you have your filters. So it will show all of your filters right here. Okay, so here's, oops, it's not happy, hold on. Oh, because it just made my filter, so it wanted to tell me that. So here's all of my filters that I have, and I can see what it tells it to do. So for example, here's the here's a filter that I made for our school chat. So we have a school chat group, and I told it to skip the inbox so I don't even see these messages come in, and then automatically apply this label, Levitt Chat. And then when I'm over here on my labels, you can see that I have the Levitt Chat right here. So if I needed to go into it and find it, I could. You'll also see that I have 270 unread messages in my Levitt Chat, which might drive some people crazy, but I'm perfectly fine with them just living over there. And if I need to get to it, I need to get to it. Within the filters area, I can also edit this filter, or I can completely delete it. So sometimes, and this probably isn't on the test, but just so you know, when you have something weird happening in your mailbox, like you're not getting emails from someone, always come in and check that you didn't accidentally make a filter that's causing that to happen, and then go ahead and delete it and start over. So let's see, what else was I going to show you a different way? Hold on, let me go back to my inbox.
Hey, Heather, we did have a question.
Oh,
what's the safest way to clear out some of the space in your inbox?
Well, I would not select like clicking on this box where you select all your messages and just deleting them. That would not be my suggestion. As far as clear, I guess I'm not.
Well, let me interrupt though, because it says because they keep getting the warning that they're 70% full. I've never gotten that message. Is that
I do on my personal mail. I do.
Is it a combination of emails and everything else that I've got?
Okay, it's not CSD, it's your personal email then.
Yes, it is.
So,
but I don't want to hit that mark where it says, hey, you're going to start losing stuff because you haven't cleared stuff out. And I don't want to delete things like I want to do it safely because I could lose something I need. So what's the best way to handle that?
So my suggestion, and others please chime in, if it was my personal email, I would start going through and making these filters and having some things go directly to the trash. Because, we all sign up for things like you're getting emails from Amazon, well, not Amazon because those could be important, but like you're getting emails from Kohl's or Macy's. You don't need all of those. Like some place that I bought something from, I get like 3 emails a day. So I don't need to go find those again. So I would just take them, for example, let's say this one, and I would set up my filter and create it. And you can have it skip your inbox, and then you can have it go. Why am I not finding it? Oh, right. Oh, maybe because
perfect.
I skipped it. Yeah, you can just have it delete it.
Oh, good.
You could forward it too if you wanted to forward them to another email address, so that maybe you kind of have then like your important personal email addresses in one, and then like the kind of junk email. I know that I have a lot of friends that do that. They use like another one just for all of their like from subscription things and stores, that they kind of have like a junk email that they use for that.
I like that idea. Thank you.
And then show her how to empty her spam folder.
So if you come over on the side, sorry. So when you're in your inbox, you have all of your labels over here. And if you scroll down, you'll have your more, which I have a lot of labels. So here's my more. And then that's where I'm going to see my spam. As you can see, I have 52, which is actually really good. So after 30 days, they're automatically deleted. You can just click here to delete all now, or you can do the magic checkbox, delete them forever. So whatever you need.
Great. Thank you.
Heather, also showing the search box up there. So click out of the spam thing, but and click that little arrow to the far right.
Yep.
And then show how you can search right there for size. And maybe you have some emails that people have sent you that have a huge file. So you can do that size greater than, and you can leave it greater than, and like, choose whatever, like anything greater than 20 megabytes is probably a large file. And so maybe you can find some stuff that maybe people have sent you, videos or things like that, that are really taking up a lot of space that you really just don't need anymore.
Thank you. That's another good one that I hadn't thought of.
And you can do the same thing and search by date. So depending on how long you've had the email address, search things that are in there, been in there for 10 years that, you just don't need. And you can put specific dates in there.
Yeah. So, and this search section is really, you can really dive in here to really, I've had a lot of people say how they organize their mailbox, and a lot of people, I think, don't use this search tool to quickly and easily find emails. Oftentimes we'll just, let me show you an example. So let's say that I was searching for something from my principal and I just did that. Well, it's going to pull everything, even if it's not from him. So if I'm looking for a specific message from him, I'm going to want to click on that arrow, because right now it's just looking for anything with that in the words. So I would want to change that so that I can now see any of the emails from him. And then that will narrow down. So notice that it took out some of those that I had before. So I think too often we just put up here in the search what we're looking for, when we could find things a lot faster by clicking on this arrow and changing what we're looking for. Okay, so that was my Gmail tips. If anyone has any other questions about Gmail, I will go ahead and answer those.
If you need some moral support, sign on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, and I'll help you empty your Gmail accounts. I'll just say, yes, that one, no, keep that one. Just like we're having a yard sale, okay? You can do that at Tuesdays at 4. Come on by.
Scott and I actually did a training called Okay Google Organized My Life, where we actually went through a lot of that stuff with clearing things out. And there's this wonderful aspect called Inbox Zero, Heather, that we could work on.
I know it pains people to see my inbox, but it works for me. It works for, I do have goals. Maybe this summer, maybe I'll hit up Scott's yard sale this summer, and I'll probably.
No, I'm right there with you, Heather. This is why I'm at 70%. I have got to go through my files. It's terrible. I have just as many folders as labels as you do.
When I see people and they open their inbox, like I think I was looking at Joanne's once, and it was like just empty. And I'm like, how do you do that? Tell me how you do that. I know all these ways to do it, but I don't know.
In my next life, maybe. I don't know.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I guess I'm up. And the last thing of the tips for the evening for Google Certified Educator level has to do with slides, which is actually one of my all-time favorite things to work with. And I'm just going to quickly add in a text box. If you didn't notice, I clicked up here on text box and then just clicked and dragged. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste. Oh, but that text is just so small for me. So I'm going to make it a little bit larger immediately by using this plus tool up here while I've got that text box selected. And you know what? That color is just not working for me. I can't see it at all. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to change the text color up here. Again, while it's selected, everything inside of it will change. With me so far? Everybody doing okay? Okay. So then, you know what? I love that purple, but I'm afraid we have some things that are on this list that I want to do. And so we're going to focus on this one, which is changing the background color of slides, but I'm only going to change the color of this slide, I promise. I'm going to go up here where it says background on my toolbar. And you'll notice that I have options under color. I could make it a transparent background. I could make it any one of these colors. We do have a theme of colors for these slides. Or I can customize my own by going in even deeper and allowing myself to, okay, maybe I want a lighter purple and maybe I want it to be a little bit more transparent, and say okay, and you'll notice, ooh, but you know what? That light purple doesn't work for me either. And so I might go back in and I might look at gradients and try out a nice blue background that would allow me to have a little bit something more powerful there. But you know what? That's still not enough for me, because I've been working a lot with third graders this week, and we've been working on Native American reports and different things that they're working on. So there's one more thing that I can do with background, and that is that I could choose an image. I could upload an image. I can use my camera, which I'm not going to do right now, and take a picture of myself. But I could also put in a URL of an image that I've found. I could go to my photos and select, and those are all of my family. I could go to Google Drive and find an image that I have. Oh, there I am a few years ago. Or I can actually now do a Google image search in here for a background image. So I'm just going to go Southwest Native American landscape, because that's just where I want to go with this. And there's an image that I would like to use for my backdrop. And I'm going to click insert, and there it goes. So much better, but oh no, now I can't see my words because they've gotten lost. Well, in this text box, I also have the capability to fill that with a color, okay? So that I could actually put a little bit of color behind it to help me see it better. So I just went in here, if you didn't see that, while I had this text box highlighted, I went up to the fill color and I chose the fill color so that now my text is visible up against my background. Still with me? Are we doing okay? Okay. So, but I need to also be able to not just put in these items for a background and also work on my text and my text color. One more thing I want to be able to insert, and that's a picture, an image. And again, I have all of these options just like I did for my background. I can insert, I can upload from a picture, I can search on the web, I can pull from my drive photos, a URL, or use the camera. When I search the web, I can literally, it will pop up on the side and allow me to search for images right here while I'm still in my slide deck. What would be a good thing for us to put in here? Anybody have any suggestions? You can either speak up or put it in the chat. Ideas, thoughts? What kind of image would you like to see in there? Oh, everybody's so quiet today. It's definitely Tuesday, the second day of the week, when everybody's like still thinking through things. All right, well, okay. I'll find an image. I'll insert an image of my own. Let's see. I think we've been doing Native American homes. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. Sometimes this can be a hogan. Sometimes it's a teepee. We have all sorts of interesting things. This one looks kind of interesting for me. And so I'm going to go ahead and select it and then insert it. And here I have it now as something that I could write about and say further. But you know, I always like to add one more tip. Something to help it really stand out. Might be a nice border, or it might be that if you didn't know this, while this image is selected, I can choose to crop it. So I can double click on it and I can pull up this bottom a little bit more and kind of crop it and make sure that it's, first of all, exactly what I want to be showing. Maybe I don't want that horse in the picture, even though he's pretty cool. I'm going to pull this edge, and I'm just pulling the edge where this black line is. Notice the difference between that and the handles. That throws people off a lot. But the black handles are what are going to help you to be able to crop and really focus in on the image you want. Well, now I want it to really stand out. So I could go in and I could choose a border color, and I could make that border color thicker so that it really stands out. Oh, you know what? Really need to make it a little bit thicker so that it gives me that picture of a photo that's popping out, an image that might be in a photo album, and give me a better feel for that and really help that image to stand out. But there's even one more thing, and that is this little tool right up here. Most people don't know about. I could have used it to crop my image, but there's also a way to make it so that it's in a shape. So for this shape, I can round my edges so that it's more of a rounded edge image. versus that sharp-edged image. And I find that that really does something nice to an image on your slides and helps to, design-wise, just appeal to the eye. Again, I could resize this. I can make it larger. I can move it around anywhere I want it on the page, but that it really gives me something different as far as my images. And those are just a couple of the things. I'm just trying to make sure I've got everything there. I do want to say that one of the things that a lot of my students do is they tend to pull on these little handles here on the edges in the middle. But what I try to remind them to do is to use the corner edges, because that's going to help it so that it stays, it won't squish it. It won't make it too thin, because if I do it by those handles, you'll notice it squishes it together. But if I pull it by the corner, it makes sure that everything stays the way it should and justified in the direction that it should. And those are my tips for part of the Google Slides skills that you'll need to know for level 1.
Excellent. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, we're actually going to talk about this more next week, but let's say everybody's like, oh my gosh, I totally got this. I want to go take that test. I want to just show you where you can go. First of all, if you want a checklist, a lot of people here have been using checklists. If you go to our Google page, so nicely designed by Joanne, you can get the skills checklist right here. So all those little check boxes that we've been working on today, they are all right here. So these are the skills you need to know for the level 1 test. And then the next thing is, what if I want to take the test? That's this link right here. Now, when you take the test, it will cost you $10, but it'll be the best $10 you've ever spent. It's a 3-hour test, and you have to be undistracted. You have to get the kids out of the house. You have to make sure the husband is out of the house. You have to get your water ready, and you have to go to the bathroom. Because if you have anything else pressing on you, you are going to be crunched for time. The majority of people take close to the 3 hours. I know I took 2 hours, maybe 2 hours and 20 minutes, but you want to have a 3-hour block. When you sign up for the test, you will get a 7-day window to take the test. Or is it 10 days? Is it 10? 10 days? Okay, so you have a 10-day window. If you don't take it within that time, you just failed. So try to make sure you know when you're going to take it in those 3 hours. Once you start, you can't stop. And they will send you a video explaining all of these things. So if you want to sign up and be like, my goal is to take it within 10 days, I think that's a little dangerous, but okay. I was ready to go by the time I signed up, and then I just had to figure out how to get my kids out of the house. It is stressful, but it's kind of like running a half marathon where you feel good doing it once you've done it. But that is time. So we aren't going to go over updates or anything today. Next week, we're going to continue with more Google skills. It's obviously not a compilation of everything you need to know because we're not spending 10 hours on it, but that should get you started. I plan to stick around just a little bit in case anybody has some individual questions or just wants to go see something or be like, Dana, where do I sign up for this? What do I do? So anybody else have anything closing comments to say for today's awesome meeting?
May I take a picture, please? So Dana, would you please stop sharing so that I can get everybody? All right. Okay. Ready? Smile. Okay, I got it.
I'm just going to share the link for the attendance form one more time if you didn't get the attendance form. And we're doing a little abrupt wrap up, but we're kind of wrapped up for today. So thanks for coming, everybody. We'll see you again next week to finish up the skills. Hi, Denise.
Great job, everybody.
Sorry, I joined late.
Oh,
Thank
it's
you
great to
guys.
see
I'm really
you.
happy to be a part of this, and I'm excited to learn with you all and be a member. So thanks for having me.
Yay.
Thank you,
Everybody,
guys.
homework is
Bye.
have somebody join. Tell a friend for our next meeting.
We will. All right. Bye, guys.
Denise, what have you been up
Yeah,
to?
everyone.
Setting up summer school. Summer school's huge this year. Ah!
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yes. So it's crazy. How are
Do you like
you?
your? I'm
Bye,
good.
guys.
Do you like your new job?
Oh, love it, love it, love it.
Oh,
It's so
good.
great. Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
know I'm taking your job?
Where?
Southwest.
You are? You're going to the computer
Yeah.
science?
Uh-huh.
No, no one told me. That's awesome. I haven't had time to talk to
Surprise.
anybody. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thanks.
You'll love it there.
Congrats, Dana. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
You were not there when we already did that at GEG.
You already talked about it.
Yeah, but I forget who's around.
Definitely.
What else is new?
I'm teaching national boards classes, so I'm getting people national board certified. So that's keeping me busy.
Yeah, I've
I
been
saw
so
your
busy
new
this
house.
year.
Your new house
Yes.
is awesome.
I'm a mile further away from you than I was before. So
Yeah.
instead of like 1 mile away, now I'm 2.
Oh, okay. You love it though?
I do. Yep.
Good.
We just needed more space, especially since we are all working from home and stuff. So,
Definitely.
and I don't think my husband will ever go back to work, so he's home now.
Yeah. So did you completed the move? You're all moved in? You have
yeah.
everything boxed and ready? Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's amazing.
Yeah, there's still stuff I want to buy, but there's no more money, so we'll deal.
Yeah, that happens. Are you going to do summer school?
I am. Benita, did you have any questions to go through before you headed out? No? Okay. I am going to, that little half credit computer science class for graduation? I'm going to offer that in summer school.
Awesome.
So
Online?
I just use Kathy's class. So it's all set up, ready to go. And then I just did videos of me walking through all of the assignments. So it's a video curriculum. It really is the freaking easiest class to pass, but it's so good. In fact, I think all teachers should have to take that class.
I agree. So there's no programming in that class at all? It's all
No, there is, but it's code.org programming.
Oh, okay.
So it's this is a loop.
Okay.
This is an if statement.
Got it.
But there's no hardcore programming.
Is that the one they can take in middle school as well?
Yes, it's the 6th grade class that if they weren't here or they failed it or they moved from out of state, then they have to take it in high school. So I try to make it worth it. It really is. It's a really great class. They really should take it freshman year because it's going to help with some of those. Like the kids could probably, if the kids take this class seriously, they could pass the level 1 test when they're done.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah. It's a good little class. It's fun.
Excellent. Okay, well, have a great day. Sorry I missed the meeting. I was doing a meet with national boards people.
Totally get it. We're good.
Yep. So if you need help with anything, let me know.
I'll keep that in mind. I'm working on an HTML class with Cindy Chang right now.
Uh-huh.
It's not hard, but dang,
No.
I suck at typing. So
That's why I copy and paste most stuff.
I try, but then it's taking me
Semicolons
forever.
and if you miss a semicolon, you're screwed.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye. Good seeing you.
Bye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bye.